Hey, my name is Kimberly Kayla, and I recently just returned from studying abroad in Japan for 1 full year. Studying abroad in Japan is really expensive. Like, it's so expensive, it's mind blowing, you know? So, how was I able to pay for that? That's one of the questions I always get. Something I want to tell you guys about is a scholarship called the Gilman Scholarship. Well, Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship. And about this scholarship, it awards people who are going for year-long programs from $5,000 to $8,000, depending on you get $8,000 up that range if you're studying a language that people aren't really looking into, for example, like Turkish or Danish. People aren't really trying to learn those languages, or Thai, or Vietnamese language, yeah. So, or Japanese. Well, but Japanese is a little bit more popular. But for the other ones that I mentioned, and Chinese also, if you're trying to learn a language like that, going to that country for Pacific language study, things like language and culture study, and language is a big emphasis, then you would get like $8,000. But for other programs, really only up to $5,000 for year-long programs. And if you're going for a semester or a quarter or a summer, you receive from $1,000 to $3,000. So how are you eligible to receive the Gilman Scholarship? Well, first of all, you have to receive the Pell Grant, which is something I received. Usually Pell Grants are given to like low-income family students. Okay, and if you want to look at more of the eligibility requirements, I do advise you to look on the website. I'll post links underneath this video for you to look at that website, and also a link to my blog, which I do explain about the Gilman a bit and how it had helped me during my study abroad program. But for real, without the Gilman, I probably would have been so broke poor. Like, I would have been like on the streets of Tokyo asking for money, like, help this broke gaijin, So, and gaijin means foreigner in Japanese. I see this like all the time in my videos, but like maybe you guys haven't watched my other videos, so I would just keep repeating it. It's like the one Japanese word you'll know other than konnichiwa. Yeah, so the Gilman, yeah, it did help me pay for like my living expenses, and mostly I used it towards academic stuff, and then like my loans and stuff that I got, I used that more towards like my personal things. But Gilman, I specifically use that towards like my schoolwork and stuff, everything that related to school. Yeah, so to get this Gilman Scholarship, you have to write a essay. I think you have to write a personal statement, then you have to write like an actual a essay. I mean, yeah, that is your personal statement, I believe. This essay, I mean, people complain if they don't get the Gilman or like any other scholarship that, I don't know, I worked so hard on this essay, like, how didn't I get it? Did you really work that hard? I'm just kidding, no, I'm not questioning how hard you worked. But for me, I took 2 months to write my essay. I mean, not that I'm a slow writer, but I took my time because, I had class during the same time that the Gilman was due, which is, I believe, in March or April for, I believe in March for year-long programs to start in the fall. Yeah, I took 2 months to write my essay. I got it corrected grammatically by my English teachers, one from my English teacher in the past and then one from a current English teacher that I was sitting with at that time. Yeah, so if one of the teachers weren't there, I went to the other one. If the other teacher wasn't there, I went to the other one. And also you're working with your, what do you call it? Well, like a Gilman contact that's in your school, that's usually in your international education center. And he helped me to tell me what should be in the essay and things like that, how you should be writing this essay, which is basically how they tell you what should be in the essay on the website. But, he just gave it a little bit more insight and stuff. And you have to think of writing your essay in this terms. Like, is my essay worth $5,000? If you're going for a year-long program, is it worth $5,000? So you can't be BSing this stuff. Like, you have to do your best. And one of my best tips actually is to get to the point. Like, you don't have to be like this fancy, amazing writer. Unless you're a creative writer, then maybe you should show a little bit of your creative writing sides on there if you're a creative writing major. But like, if you're, I don't know, regardless, you guys shouldn't be getting too fancy on there. They want you to get to the point, because like your paper has to be at least 2 pages long, double spaced. So get to the point. why is receiving the Gilman, no, sorry, why is studying abroad in that country going to benefit you as a person in your career, in your future? So, like, for example, my cousin went to France and she received the Gilman. Yeah, I helped her. What can I say? She did take her time on it. She did take, like, she told me she took like a month to 2 months to write her essay, and she was working back and forth with her her English teacher. So that was cool. And also, I guess the most difficult part for her was the content, like what had to be in the essay. I mean, other than the fact that they're telling you what should be in this essay, you know. And when I read her essay, this is after she received it, so I didn't help her technically write it. I just told her like what she should be looking at and things like that. So when I did read her essay, she got to the point. Why is studying abroad in France going to help her in her future career goals? She wants to be a doctor in Africa. Okay, Africa, one of the dominant languages there is French. You know, second to like English. So learning French for her, which her school did not provide, would be really beneficial towards her career goals in the future. And she like kind of got into detail of how that program was going to help her. Yeah, and how like learning about French culture was also going to help her and things like that. So get into detail. My essay, I just told like, basically how Japan was going to help me with my future too, because yeah, it was basically among those lines. Yeah, so why is going to that country going to benefit you towards your future career goals, professional, academic wise, and you as a person? So just really get into detail about that. Don't get all fancy. Don't be like, oh, you have to bring them into like a story world. Like just do it. Make it clean. You know, you don't want to be sloppy. Sloppiness does not grant you $5,000. Let's see, another thing you have to worry about is your follow-on project. Well, your follow-up project, I think, which is due 6 months after you return. I'm already, for my project, I was doing it while I was there, and it is continuing right now, which is utilizing like the web to get the word out of my study abroad trip and things like that. So that was my follow-up project. And you really have to get into detail about that because they want to see how you're going to get the word out about the Gilman Scholarship. So you can't, I mean, it can't be so vague. It can't even be vague, actually. You have to be really thorough about how you're going to, sorry, not really thorough, but really clear about how you're going to get the word out. So that's another reason why I took $2,000. That's another reason why it took 2 months for me to write my essay, because it wasn't only the essay I was working on, it was also the follow-up project. So all I have to say is take your time. If it's going to take you more than 2 months, I say go ahead. Better start as early as possible, as rather than closer to that due date, you know, because it's better just to get it out the way, I guess you could say. So probably if you're going for like the fall or like the full year, I say start working on it right when you get out for like Christmas break or something. I mean, for real, like unless you're going abroad like to go for a vacation, you have time. Like I know I have time when I like go into Christmas break. So it's because of the Gilman that I was able to enjoy my time in Japan without worrying about like all these financial problems, because I mean, I'm pretty sure you know Japan is pretty damn expensive. So all I have to say is thank you, Gilman. And if you receive the Gilman, I really do, or if you're applying for the Gilman, I really do hope that this helps you. You can ask me questions like through my blog. I mean, like, because I think you can comment under my thing, or through my Facebook, which I will also have links below this thing. Yeah, so I'm happy to help you to the best that I can, to the best of my abilities. So sorry about my English, like Japanese. Yeah, no, I'm serious. Like when you're learning a foreign language, then you come back, you're gonna start slurring your words like cray. Yeah, so I do hope this helps you guys, and best of luck on applying for the Gilman Scholarship.